Welcome back to another tutorial in Unreal Engine on how to make a HexTile board game. I had a previous video where we added in some dice functionality, not built out at all, but we made this in Blender, and the dice comes in, random angle rolls, and then we can return the number. I'm going to essentially redo this because I want to make a couple different dice in Blender. That will actually function for the game I'm trying to make. So instead of having a 6 number die, I'm going to have a 0 and then 2 1s, 2 2s, and a 3. So basically, when units go into combat, when these come in together here for combat, the die will roll and add a modifier to the attacker and the defender, and I don't want that to be 1 through 6 because these units combat range from 1 to 2 attack and defense points. So if you roll the 6, that'd be pretty big. So I want to scale it down to sometimes it rolls 0, sometimes a 1, sometimes a 2, and the biggest it can roll is a 3. You can do this however you want your dice to work in your game. You might want a 6. You might want more smaller numbers. So whatever you want to do, maybe you want the attacker and the defender die to have different values. Maybe the defender has 2 1s, 2 2s, and 2 3s, so the defender always has an advantage. That's up to you. I'm going to do mine completely balanced, at least for tutorial purposes. So let's get into it. So I'm going to remake a die just in case you didn't watch the last tutorial, but we'll start with a cube and we'll go into edit mode, subdivide, and we want to subdivide by 6 with a smoothness of 0.1. Come back into edit mode and we'll add a modifier, and this will also be subdivide surface, and click this on cage, and I think we want to do 3 for the level viewport. So this first side, I'm going to make a 1. So click on this middle one, press E to extrude, and then minus 0.05, enter. So that kind of indents it in. And then Control R for a loop cut. Click and then right click. Oh, and I should mention to make sure you're on face select when you're doing the indent. So like, kind of see what that looks like. Move this back. And I'm going to do this on the other side too. E 0.05, and then Control R for a loop cut, right click. Okay. And then go to the front, and here I'll do my 2. Back to face select. E 0.05, enter. And Control R, right click, Control R, right click. And to the other side, face select. Select. Oops, not this middle one. E 0.05, or negative 0.05, enter. Did I do that right? Yeah. And then Control R. So we get 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, and then at the very bottom, we'll do the 3. E, negative 0.05, enter. Then loop cut, Control R, left click, right click, Control, left click, right click, boom. Okay, good. So, got the die I want to use for this. Next, we'll go back into edit mode, and I'm going to go into edge select, and I'm doing shift control click. Dang it. Let's unselect these. So for the unwrapping, because we are going to use a texture, I'm just trying to get these outside faces all kind of broken up. So we'll mark this as a seam. This makes sense when we actually unwrap this. Mark seam. It's probably in a more efficient way to do this too, but this works, so I'm just doing it this way, but you might be better in Blender than I am and can unwrap this a little bit better. You don't need to necessarily do this to unwrap it, but you could do some different kinds of unwrap, but I think this will work best. Okay, and okay, so now let's assign some materials. So we'll do the marble, which I got this texture. I'll pull this up so everybody can see, but there's a website called, let me grab this quick, Free Pick. So you search something like marble or whatever you want. You can grab one of these, and actually you can filter on free, download it, and then just make sure you copy the accreditation. So you say copy, and then when you reference that somewhere, you can read more about it somewhere on here. But generally, if you have credits or something, you can just download it, and then when you create the material, you can switch the base color to a texture and then import it in. Not necessary. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but that's how I do it. Okay. And so the next, I want the numbers to actually be a different texture, just like our dice in the background, how they're black. So I'm just holding shift and selecting these faces. And then we can assign a different material to these numbers. Okay, I think we got all of them. Set a new material, and this will just be the numbers sign. Boom. And this actually looks fairly good, I think, unwrapped, but we'll just make sure. So now we can grab, select all, and unwrap. And now we'll put it like that. And we come back into modeling. That looks pretty good. So same methodology as this, but just trying to get some different die numbers on here. I don't really like how this is obviously a 0, but I don't know. I'm going to see how it would look if I don't think this is going to look good at all. No, that's not. I might, just don't like how it's blank. I don't know. We'll leave it for now. Maybe I'll think of something better to do for a zero roll. Okay, and then from here we can file, export as an FBX, and board game assets. We'll just call this die 0, 1, 2, 3, just for the numbers. Selected objects only, and then under geometry, smoothing face only. Export that FBX. Now we come back into Unreal Engine, and for our die, so this will just be a die standard. This is the first one we did. We'll bring in another one. And Unreal Engine, board game. Where do I keep this? Oh yeah, Blender, board game assets, and die 0, 1, 2, 3. Import. And here it is. So what I want to do from here is actually back in here, the numbers can be the die numbers black, but I want to do some different colors for the attacker and defender. So let's pull up our current die material. So what we'll do in the material is we'll multiply our texture, and we will create another constant 3. So I held 3, left click, right click this to parameter. I'll call this tint, and we'll do another multiply, and right click on this parameter, tint strength. which by default will be 0. Pass it into here. And actually, I think the default need to be white. Okay, so what we'll actually do, make the tint white and give it a default strength of 1. And this keeps the base die looking normal. So what we'll do is right click on the die material, make a material instance, and we'll do attacker, and we'll do defender die colors. And let's apply this attacker to this here. And check both of these on. And the tint, let's give the attacker kind of a red. And let's see how that looks. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And now let's put the defender die. I think for the defender die, we'll do like a blue. Yeah, maybe like that. Cool. So now we have, or not the standard die, I want this one. So I have 2 different die, red and a blue, with 1, 2, 1, and 3, 1, 2, 1, and 3. And then from here, these will both roll simultaneously when we do an attack, and then the number that it rolls on will be added to the attacker strength or defender strength. So pretty much just like Risk. If you played that before, I think it kind of works like that. So cool. Thanks for watching. Pretty quick one here, but just want to get these dice in game, and then we'll actually build out the code in the next one. Thanks for watching, and like and subscribe, and leave a comment if you have any questions. Thanks.